The NICD presents a tribute to the progress made to date in the fight against polio. Decades after having contracted the disease, these are some of the survivors that we have followed.
My name is Oswell Bila. I'm from Limpopo. I'm a fifth born of 7 children. I'm from a bigger family. My daddy had 3 wives, my mom being the senior wife. So all in all, we were 7 from one mother. Then I was the 5th on the 5 boys, where I had only 1 sister. At a tender age of 6 in 1982, when I was visiting my grandparents in a village called Communicable, I started feeling one of the days, experiencing weakness on the lower part of my body, especially the knees. You see, as a young child, you don't get to understand these things as to what could be happening in your body. So that's how it was starting actually to attack my body. How I felt was like the best thing that I could do was I just wanted to sleep all the time. Then I would feel better by just sleeping, not wanting to eat, feeling cold. You see, the same symptoms of cold or flu, things like that. All I'd want to do was just to sleep in the sun. Then I'd feel better. Until my grandmother realized that no, there is something wrong with this child. Then you see, back then there were no many people who understood different symptoms of different diseases. So maybe what was going on in their minds was it could be experiencing maybe just mere simple symptoms of your normal cold and flu, things like that. Then my late grandmother, she then made contact with my mother to actually get me to a hospital, because they could see that actually these things were starting to get worse. Okay, I was hospitalized in 1982, and back then, at the hospital that I was admitted to, there were not many doctors who were experienced in many diseases or treating many diseases, maybe similar things like what I was going through. But I think I was one of the lucky patients who was then treated by, he's now a professor, then was a doctor Oswell, who actually picked up on his diagnosis that this child, whatever it is that was going through, was as a result of polio, post-poliomyelitis. I was hospitalized for 2 full years. I was, if you just sleeping in bed without even being able to turn your head, nothing. All I could do was just to talk, but I couldn't even move any part, even my fingers. I couldn't feel anything. Because you see, the nature of polio, the way it attacks you is, it attacks your central nervous system, especially your spinal cord. Well, I was lucky. I got treated. I stayed in hospital 2 full years, and then I started, undergoing physiotherapy just to try and revive the body. As I said, I could not wake up, I could not move any part of my body, even my fingers. But with the physiotherapy, with regular, attending all those things, that helped, because from not being able to wake up, I could, they assisted for me to be able to wake up by myself. From not being able to move my fingers or turn my neck, that situation improved until I am where I am today. So you see, after I was discharged from the hospital, now coming home, you see now you have now to be integrated into the family. You're the only person who's disabled, by the way. People in your community don't know these things. I think back then, I could have been maybe the only child who actually encountered this thing, who went through this situation. One of the days I had just a chat, a casual chat with my late mom to try and understand as to what actually led to this. It wasn't easy for her to actually share with me, but she had to tell me the truth. Well, you see, it's said that I could not get the immunization for polio because my mom did not have 5 rand. Now, you see how hard it was back then. Just to get 5 rand to transport a child to a clinic, just to get an injection. So now, that 5 rand led to all of this. I couldn't get immunization. But okay, fast forward, we'll leave that. After being discharged, integration back into the family. It wasn't an easy thing. It wasn't an easy experience because you see, you're the only child who now you sort of become a burden. Now, a wheelchair is something which I got along the way. I didn't have a wheelchair all along. In 1984, when I came back, like I said, I was hospitalized for 2 full years, 1982, 83. 84, I was then released, discharged, go back, be integrated into the family. I didn't have a wheelchair. I had to crawl like a baby. See, a baby has to crawl to move from there to there. Point A to point B. Now, we're not talking about crawling on a smooth surface area like this. We're talking about crawling, on different terrains. Whether there's stones, there's what. Your mode of transport, for you to be able to move from point A to B, you have to crawl because wheelchair, it's something that I was given later on after having gone back home, and I had to move. So for me to move, I had to crawl until I was given. And besides, a wheelchair that I was given then, it was actually meant for me to go to school because in 1985, that's when I had to start. That's when I started going to school. My primary schooling, I did it back home in Limpopo. I'm telling you, the first day I went to school, the first day I was taken to school, my mom had to carry me on her back to take me to school. I didn't have a wheelchair. Now, for children to see this child being carried on a back of a person coming to school, that was strange to them. They would look at me like this, wondering as to what's happening, what's wrong with this fellow child who's not like us. And you see, for them to get to understand this, it took them time. But lucky enough for them, with me being integrated, it being part of them, it made them understand and realize that no, it's not like I'm a different, a human being from them, apart from the fact that in terms of mobility, they could walk with their own legs. I could not walk with my own legs. I had to use a wheelchair to move from point A to point B. The person who was a social worker who was assigned to my case, it was a sister to a wife to Dr. Sek. So you see, these people who actually, role players in all this thing, they were all, interrelated. So yes, they advocated for me to go to school. I remember in one of the schools, I could not be accepted because I was a disabled child. There were not even a single disabled child on their student enrollment. I was actually what the principal was recommending was that I need to be taken to. There's some hospitals, some institutions where sort of a confinement where only disabled people are supposed to school. Same with blind people. You don't just take a blind child to any other school. There are special schools for that. So now what this principal was thinking, or what he would have wanted to happen, to see happening, was that I need now to be taken to that school, to a special school. And social worker said, no, this is a normal child. He was assessed. You see, those institutions are only meant for I don't know, I wouldn't say low IQ, but there are certain requirements that you have to meet in order for you to be sort of confined in that school. It's not every disabled child who must go to a disabled school or to a school of children with disabilities. Myself, I went to a normal school, normal primary school, normal high school, normal university. I did my degree, my Bachelor of Commerce in Law at University of Limpopo. Then it was TEFLUOP, University of the North. I graduated there. I worked at the SABC as a radio presenter at some stage between 2000 and 2003. 2004, I joined government as a public servant. To date, I'm working for government. I'm currently based in Mineral Resources Department in Sunnyside. I'm the Assistant Director in Demand Management Supply Chain. So, yes, there is life after polio. If you actually want to succeed, you just need to push. But of importance, parents need to ensure that they take their children for immunization. It's very important. You see, it's really not worthy to have your child's life wasted. To actually let your child go through all of this. Today we have the clinics, there's everything. We have, one of the best health facilities. We have the best health system. These things, can be prevented. I wouldn't want any other child in South Africa or the world to go through what I went through, because it was just a mess. And you see, as a disabled person, for people to recognize you, you need to be twice as better than a normal person. If you're just there and you're folding your hands, no, it's fine, I'll get disability grant, you're not going to go anywhere. You need to go to school, you need to study very hard, and you get a job, and you become independent instead of having to depend on government for disability grant, because it doesn't work. So that's all I can say about my experience, what I went through, what I encountered in life because of this thing called polio. Thank you.